Hey YouTube, how you doing? Kevin here, coming at you with the part 3 on this video of the generator. So I had the thing running. It's been out here running since my last video, which was a few hours ago, just to get the thing cycling and everything else and get all the fuel burnt out of it. It's missing an air filter, so I got some foam because I can't get an air filter for this thing. I'm going to drain the oil out of it. It should come out fairly easy. The spark plug I put in was a resistor plug, so I'm going to change the spark plug as well. Something like that. Maybe this way here will help. Get the oil change. Yes, nice and warm. Here we go. Oh yeah, it's nice and black. Look at that oil coming out of that thing. Black is the ace of spades. Okay, so we got, let's see if I can, there we go. Got some nice black oil coming down. I'm using the spark plug box as a diverter so it doesn't go all over the frame. See how I did that? There's a little tip for you. Pretty cool. And now for the air filter assembly. Now I couldn't get an air filter assembly for this thing. Hold on, buddy. I'm making a video over here, okay? So I couldn't get an air filter for this thing, so I got this stuff. This is Quick Cut, all right, and this right here is for an air conditioner. Okay, if you can see, I can shrink this down. It's for an air conditioner, and this stuff works great. Now this thing's not subject to a lot of dirt anyway, so this is going to work out perfect for me. You know, it's just breathable foam like you would on like a motorcycle air filter. Okay, you don't have to oil it or nothing. If it's going to be ran in really dusty conditions, I'm not going to recommend this stuff. But because it's ran on my porch in a storm, under a cover, this is what I'm going to recommend. So what we're going to do to make this air filter is the stuff is just straight foam. You can see through it pretty much. It's pretty clear. We're going to take it. Pop the air filter box off. It's got one baffle in there already. And we got the second baffle. So the first step is to cut out the square. Yep. Cut this foam out with just a regular pair of scissors. Then I'll trim it up. You just use it as a template and cut around it. Real easy to do. It's not going to be as OEM, but it's going to stop a lot of the big stuff from going through. And that's really all that I care about, you know. I just want something there to diffuse the dirt. Just like that. Okay. Nothing fancy, just a regular breathable foam. It's a filter. It's filter material. And then we're going to take this. We're going to sandwich it in here. Make sure it fits in there nicely. Puts it in like that. Locking tab. Get it in there. Like so. Air filter's done. Pop the top. Change the spark plug. Yep. Okay. Put this foam away real quick. Yep. Okay. Got the spark plug socket. Reach in. The spark plug I put in was a resistor plug, and I don't like resistor plugs. They're not reliable. Out with the old and with the new. Yep, gap's even. Looks good. I screwed it in by hand. Snug it. Spark plug's done. Install my cover. Boom. Hey Andrew, do you want another spark plug? Yeah, I have another one right here.
Thank you, Mama. I can use two now.
Yeah, this is a bigger plug.
Yeah, I love two
Cool.
plugs.
All right, then you're all set then.
Yeah, I'm all set. I'm gonna fix this with
Yeah.
you. I'm gonna fix this with
Yeah,
you.
I'm working on it right now. I'm draining the fuel out of it as well.
Oh, well, I can fix it.
I ran it out of fuel, but because it's now sitting differently, any fuel that's coming in is going to drain through. Andrew, hey, I'm making a video. Can you please go over there and play?
Yeah, but I need to fix it.
And then I'm going to drain down the carburetor bowl. Make sure there's no crap in that.
That's the step number 2.
Yep, I just want to get all the stuff, all the fuel out of it. It's going to be sitting for a while, and I don't want that to gum up again like it did on my first video.
Alright, so first I gotta fill up the car out of
Yeah.
gas.
Make sure it's out of fuel.
I need to fill the car out of gas.
Raise that up so it can vent.
I
Yeah.
gotta fill the car out of gas.
Cool. Take the,
So I need
oil
to
plug
go.
out.
I need to go to get the gas.
And
There's the gas.
I got a lot of fuel out and a lot of oil out. That's the oil dipstick. Basically drained out of oil. And you do this over there, please. Reinstall my drain plug. You don't need to monkey tighten that drain plug. You just need to snug it. Let's see if I can find where this silver socket that I put down when I switched out the one for the spark plug. Right here. Sedum, 1/8 of a turn sufficient. I'm using 30 weight motor oil on it. This is a 3 horsepower, so it's not going to take a whole quart. It should take like 3/4 of a quart.
3. Sorry. Oops.
And of course it's 30 weight, so it takes a while for it to go into the motor. Stuff that's not easy to pour by any stretch of the means. Yeah, about 3/4 of a quart will do it. Now I'm not going to start the engine. I'm going to actually make sure the switch is off. It is. Leaving the oil cap off. Checking it right like that. Make sure I got up to, because you can't see it. So if you pull it over just a little bit, you'll see it start to burp out and gets the room for on this particular oil pan. Most of these 3 horsepowers are not like that. Most of the 3 horsepower, you just put the oil in and forget about it. This particular one, because of its a Generac generator, you got to do that to it because there's a baffle in there. It's kind of stupid, but if it's got this type of plug, it's got that baffle. Okay, looks full to me. Then I can plug this back in, and the oil is changed. Alright, so I'm out of fuel. I changed the oil. Hold on, buddy, I'm doing a video. Make sure all my cover screws are tight. Spark plug is in, air filter's in. Okay. I gotta put this cover on. Now that I have the what do you call it there? No, not right now. You go fix yours, Andrew. Let me do my video, please. All right. Put these screws all in. The secret to these screws, when you're putting these on, is to, what do you call it there? Put them on loose and then tighten them all together. So when you put them on, you got to put them on loose. I'm getting another one of the screws I used to match up. I got one in the car. I have to loosen up one of these panels because one of these panels were missing a screw. So I think it's the front one right there. Front panel's a little dented, so we're gonna try to straighten it out a little bit. But at least we have an air filter on it now, right? Okay. So basically, just set them in there loose. Don't tighten them. He's right here, see like that? You can't put the screw in. Move the panel over and you put the screw in. That's why you don't tighten them all up at once. This is a nice little generator and it's great for camping. It's a great little camping generator. And it's going to do quite well for what I need it to do. However, I want to make sure it's together, reliable, and all set to go. Now I can tighten up the screws.
I got 3 lights. Just get another light.
And I tighten these in the crosshatch pattern. You don't have to. It's a preference. I always do it that way. Okay. Now this panel's back on. So it's all
I
back
got
in.
3 lights.
Okay.
I got 3
This panel's
lights.
a little back right here. Yep. Okay. And you go over there, please.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. And then this is the one. No, Andrew, I'm still working on my video here, buddy. Sorry about that. I had to go run and get my bolt. Okay. I forgot where I put it. So I had to buy a new bolt at the hardware store because I was missing one. So anyway, oh guys, desperate need of a nap. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna loosen all these bolts. Or in this case, screws. so I can maneuver the panel around a little bit. Gives me some wiggle room with it. And see if I can't get that screw hole to line up. Now this panel right here is pretty well dented up. So that's the part that makes it difficult to line. You know, when it's like that. So we're going to do our best and hope to God it works. Okay. I think the hole might be stripped out as well. I'm batting 1,000 today, people. I'm batting 1,000 today. Alright, so I managed to drop a washer, which I just found, and I'm doing a little trick that's not working out too well in my favor. So we're going to spray that down with some lubricant and see what happens. Find some lubricant first. What I'm doing is I'm actually putting the screw in from the back side of the nut, coming forward through it to re-chase the threads. That whole hole hasn't had a screw in probably a decade or two, so it's all corroded and has a lot of rust in it. So I'm gonna spray some fluid in it, and I'm gonna go from the back side out through that nut, and then I'll be able to put it through the right way. Okay, people. All right, so the product I'm using here is liquid wrench. It's penetrating oil. It's fast acting anti-seize. So this stuff works pretty good, and we're going to try this and see how it does on this bolt hole. I'll spray it on the back side as well. Working pretty good. Just winding it through that nut. And you get so far when it starts to get tight, take it back out, shoot it again. Because what it's doing, it's loosening up all the rust and it's blowing it out at the same time. Okay. Alright, now we'll put the...
What are you doing?
I am fixing the generator.
Oh, well, I got tools to fix it. I can fix it.
Let's see if we can get that thread to
fix
catch.
it. I can fix it with
Yeah.
it.
Watch out, I'm doing a video right here, buddy. Get out of the way of the camera. Nice and tight there.
See, I got 3 buttons.
See, now I'm tying them up. I can tie them up anyway now because they're all together.
Okay. You take a video of it. You take a video of it.
Alright, so let me show you what I did. I didn't want to drill it out and put a nut and stuff on the back when all the rest of them had all the bolts in there. So what I did was, the nut is welded on the back side here, okay? So what I did was, I was able to catch a thread on the back, so I sprayed it with the liquid wrench penetrating oil. This stuff works great. I sprayed it, then I started to screw it in, and I screwed it all the way through. Now the front part of the thread on this side was damaged. By screwing it in this way, all the way through, I was able to correct and fix the threads. Then I was able to put the washer on, the new washer and the new nut or screw, and put it through the front. So now I have all the screws on all my panels, and it works just great. So that's how I fixed that problem. So I changed the oil, I made an air filter, I'm letting the tank vent, breathe out, and get all the fuel that's in there out. It's already drained out of fuel, so I don't have to worry about any of that. The fuel is shut off. Right now I got to put the bowl back on. I took the bowl off when I had it after I got done to make sure there was no more, fuel in there, because I don't want any fuel in it until I need to run this thing. So I dropped it on the ground right here. Inspect it, make sure there's no dirt in there. Looks pretty clean to me. Yeah, looks clean. And I drain this out, always drain this out. If there's any water or anything, this is going to catch the water. It's going to catch the condensation, the moisture, and all that. So that's why it's down below. So the fuel line comes in from the tank, comes down to the water separator, if you will, and then goes back up. And there's a little filter in here too, but this one's fine because I already cleaned it. Little tip for you, I'm putting it on backwards to see if I catch the threads properly. Like that. Then once it catches, finger tight, do not use pliers, it's a plastic nut. Okay, and that's it. That's all there is to it. Shut that off, let that sit. And that's pretty much it. You saw the linkage right there. I got the carburetor bowl out. Probably wouldn't hurt to lube all that. Just spray a little bit of lube on it. Lube all the joints where the governor rides. And that, my friends, is how I tune up these things. I drain the oil, drain the fuel, make an air filter if I have to. If I can buy an air filter, I prefer to buy a filter. But in some cases you can't when you have an old dinosaur machine like this. That air filter probably hasn't been in production for a long time. So, and I know Sears don't have them. So it's a 1400 watt, what do you call it there? Craftsman generator. It's a Generac basically, with that style generator head. It'd be nicer if it was a Coleman, because they're a lot easier to get parts for. But I use 30 weight motor oil in the motor, an J179LM spark plug, and I fixed the screw hole that was in there. That was bad, and that's pretty much it. I'm just letting the air vapors come out, and that's it. And this is a nice little generator. It's ran all day. I had it running those lights I showed you in the earlier video. And sorry for the delay in the video part. I don't know how to pause this thing, so I had to pause it I had to let it run when I went over to go get the stuff I needed. But other than that, this thing's a nice little runner. So oil change is done, and always dispose of oil properly. So what I will do with that oil right there is I have an oil drum that I put all my oil in. Keep oil and stuff like that separate. Oil and fuel can go together, but regular oil you want to keep separate. You know, like you don't want antifreeze mixed with it. And then I stick it in these drums. And then I call a guy who burns oil during the winter, and he comes down and picks them up. And therefore he'll come down, pump those out, and drop me off 2 new barrels. Now, for those of you who don't have 55-gallon drums available in your yard, most auto parts stores, 90% of them, including Walmart, take back oil. So if you buy oil from Walmart, you can bring it back with your receipt. The old oil, you put the old oil into the containers, and you can recycle it right back there. There's a nice little fun tip for you. So if you have oil and you're like, oh shit, I did my oil change myself, but I don't know where to get rid of this oil. Well, you don't want to dump it on the ground, okay? Because, like, especially for me here, I live in a really nice area. First off, one, I would not want to contaminate my ground. Kills the grass. Second, we're leaving these, what do you call it there? We're leaving this plant to our kids. And the lamprey's right over there. So whatever I put in the ground, it's going to either go in the lamprey, or it's going to go into my well. And my well is right under where we're walking right now, which is right next to the house. And the well head is sticking up right out of the ground here. Right up underneath the porch, underneath the table there. So you always want to make sure you dispose of your oils properly, and never, ever dump them on the ground. And there is something like this. See how I got a little bit of oil? There is another thing you can do with this oil too. If you're having a bonfire, you can throw that little bit on there and it'll keep the fire burning longer. But you don't want to go too much, because that's not good for the environment either. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much how you can get the couple ways you can get rid of oil. So you can get rid of it oil. You can put it in a 55-gallon drum and put it on Craigslist for free for the guys, and they'll take it for their oil burners. Yep, I'm doing a video, buddy. And that's pretty much it. And if you have a little bit like that, I can either throw it in the bin, or I can burn it. So just keep those things in mind when you're doing these things. Yep. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe if you have any questions or comments. This is it for this video for the 1400 watt generator. This is it. It's all done. So she's gonna be she's going in the shed after all the vapors are out. And yep, that's it. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe.
Now you can do